Hello fellow old schoolers. Today we get to see, it's a real treat, we get to see Power-Monolith, a combo deck, and a really old school classic here, coming up against the Quicksilver archetype. And I'll go over the decks after the match, where we can look into them and see how they're made. But as a quick reminder, Power-Monolith is like a 3-card combo deck. And it revolves around, as the name implies, the Basalt Monolith and the Power Artifact. And in essence, those two cards in combination gives you infinite mana, because it costs you less mana to untap the Basalt Monolith than you get from tapping it. So you can just tap it an infinite amount of times, getting infinite mana, and then you will finish the game with a huge fireball for like 1 billion damage, or a brain geyser or something similar. Usually it's the fireball. And then I think this brew is making use of counter magic and the abyss, and it's creatureless. Besides that, it's very light on removal as far as I remember. I've faced it before, and it can be a scary brew, because it can just go off at a drop of a hat once he has his mana. If he gets his cards, he'll just punch straight in and finish the game. The Quicksilver brew is blue, green and red. I think it's an archetype invented in Spain originally. I think that's where it got its name, but people can correct me if I'm wrong. It's a very fast aggro-burn deck using Curdaves, Ernemgens and Serendipity Freaks, combined with a lot of burn spells to finish the game really fast. So this is the matchup. A real beat down fast deck here, coming up against a combo deck. I think in theory, Power-Monolith will have his work cut out for him, because he needs to get his combo up before the other guy finishes him. And the Quicksilver brew is really fast. But I suppose it all depends on their opening hand. Oh yeah, the Power-Monolith is on the left here with that Aladdin's Lamp playmat, and he's on the he actually mulliganed here. Mulliganing down to 6 cards. At least he keeps that hand. Now who's on the play? Ooh, yeah, that's the Power-Monolith. He should drop his Mox as well, just to be able to activate the Chaos Orb. The other guy could shatter it because he was tapped out there. But a lot of quick mana is very important for Power-Monolith. And I wouldn't rule Power-Monolith out here. He has he won the Tournament of Dominia Day on this channel. There's a series on that. So it can work, but it is a rare archetype for a reason. Okay, Curdape coming out here. Okay, immediately activating the Chaos Orb on the Curdape. Let's see if it hits. And straight on the face of that ape. So, got rid of the first creature here, but oh, Reed wasn't the okay. I was just about to say that the Power-Monolith doesn't have a lot of removal here, so he needs to recycle that Chaos Orb just to keep the other guy at bay. He'll likely keep it on hand to remove creatures. And good thing he did. That's an Ernemgen. Likely the top curve drop of the Quicksilver deck. Okay, Chaos Orbing that as well. Let's see if Power-Monolith can make it work twice here. Yeah, that's another dead creature, and Chaos Orb has 2 victims now. Oh, nothing out of Quicksilver here. No third creature to follow up with. Okay, that's the first part of the combination. Basalt Monolith hitting the table. Now Power Artifact, as I remember, it requires double blue or triple blue to cast. I think it's double blue. Not quite sure. I guess we'll see. Ooh, that's a Mind Twist, powered by a Sol Ring and a Basalt Monolith. Just a bolt straight to the face of the other guy. There's a fork. Couldn't he fork it? Why didn't he fork? Oh, he doesn't have double red mana. Just thought it was an oversight. I wonder why he didn't play the Golden Pixies right there. He lost that as well. That's a brutal punch in. Now Power-Monolith will have more time to get his combination going here. Demonic Tutor. Yeah, so it seems like he's blue, black and red, right? The Power-Monolith. He could tutor for, okay, he's tutoring for the Ancestral Recall. I was wondering if he would tutor for the Power Artifact here, just to get the combination going, but He lacks the blue mana. There's another blue source. So now he has 3 blue sources. 4 blue sources. Oh, the app is coming out. Brutal stuff, especially before sideboard, because I don't think Quicksilver has an answer for it. Or he could have Concordant Crossroads main deck. We'll see after the match. To kind of just annul the Abyss. But if not, he needs to burn the other guy out. Doesn't do a lot. Power-Monolith has a lot of room here. A lot of breathing room. And that is dangerous. Each draw it becomes closer to the combination. Okay, Quicksilver was saving up for the library. That's why he didn't play the Agodian Pixies before. Wanted to save up for the library. Sushi coming down here. Yeah, it doesn't mind the Abyss, so as Power-Monolith can't remove it, he counters it instead. That's his only way of removing creatures besides that Chaos Orb, I think. At least artifact creatures. He has a power artifact in hand, actually. He plays it here. Oh man, he now has infinite mana. And there's a Wheel of Fortune right in, so that's 7 cards, and the other guy's tapped out. So he gets 7 draws here for a finishing move. Remember, infinite mana. So whatever he can get, there's a Brain Geyser. Please draw 1 billion cards, my friend. So yeah, what an ending here. Too much breathing room for Power-Monolith here, just Brain Geysering the other guy out. And we saw Power-Monolith was patiently waiting here for the other guy to tap out. And once he tapped out, there went the power artifact and then a Wheel of Fortune to draw into a full new hand and likely getting some sort of kill con. And the reason for that was to avoid counter magic, shatters, red and blue blast and stuff like that. So yeah, just really saw his opening and then punched in immediately. Good stuff. So these guys will sideboard and will go into round number 2. I do think Quicksilver could be more of a favorite here, because at least if he's sideboarded shatters, red blast and blue blast in, he has access to all those. And he needs those defenses, and then he needs mana untapped to block Power-Monolith once Power-Monolith goes off. Oh, but Quicksilver has to mulligan here. Now Quicksilver is mostly seen in Southern Europe, as said, but we do have players in Denmark on the brew. Ooh, library turn 1 here. He is on the play though. Ooh, and a library on the draw from Power-Monolith. And remember, Quicksilver has mulliganed, so if he wants to keep drawing, he needs to hold back with his cards. And Power-Monolith has an active library straight from the get-go here. A lot of quick mana again. Dream start from Power-Monolith. Needs to draw again here before he plays more cards. Yep, so he does here. Now, Power-Monolith is one of the only guys I know that plays with Aladdin's lamp. I hope we get to see one in this match. It's an incredible rare card to see at a serious tournament deck, but it's all because of that infinite mana. Okay, strip mining the other guy's library, and Quicksilver has just lost a bunch of tempo by trying to save up to that library, now getting strip mined out. And look at Power-Monolith just exploding all over the board here with Felvastone, Sorrowing, Moxen. There's a Basalt Monolith on his hand. Question is, can he make it work here? Yep, that's 1/2 of the combination. Now, has Quicksilver taken Shatter in? Perhaps Power-Monolith will wait with his combination until he has counter magic online. You would usually do that. I think there was a Serra Angel in his hand. Yep, he drew a Serra Angel. Likely a sideboard switcheroo here, taking the Abyss out and taking a few creatures in. Just to take the other guy by surprise. Likely it won't be the most efficient because there's so much burn. Though Quicksilver is mana starved here, having to discard a Sonic Blast. He needs some mana. At least he gets some mana here. Why doesn't he attack with the factory? Attacks here, gets Source to Plowshed. Yeah, that's likely why he didn't attack. So it gets some life. It is completely besides the point. No matter how much life he has, the Power-Monolith will usually only win with his combination, and he can do as much damage as he wants to. So there's no escaping an infinite fireball. There's Aladdin's Lamp. He did play with it. Now I think it costs 10 mana to cast, and then you can pay X amount of mana to look through those cards, that amount of cards in your deck, and draw one of them. But remember, if you have infinite mana, you can just allocate as much mana as you want, as many cards as you have in your deck. So you have a demonic tutor each turn, just to get the combination going, and dig for whatever you want. Now there's a Black Wise on him here, so he really takes punishment for that that Library of Alexandria. Really shuts that down. Serra Angel coming out. Yeah, okay. So he's emptying his hand here, putting some pressure on the other guy with the Serra Angel. So a creature out of Power-Monolith here. Chain Lightning on him, down to 13 points of life. Quicksilver getting some damage in with that Black Wise. Okay, now he's using all his mana to look through his Aladdin's Lamp. He can take that many cards. Picks. Yeah, so he got his he got the first part. He did that before it was his turn. Got the power artifact in his hand, using the Aladdin's Lamp as a tutor here. Just paid with it, even without his combination. But he has so much mana, and he has nothing to spend it on, because it's such a reactive deck. Apart from that Serra Angel. So okay, using the power artifact, and okay, that makes sense. I would have thought he would make it there. So now he has a demonic tutor each turn, and then he can fireball the other guy out. Man, bam! Now that's what I talk about. When this brew goes off, it's just immediately. Didn't even get to attack with the Serra Angel. That's just a huge fireball, blowing the other guy off the planet here. So it really surprised me that Quicksilver crumpled like this, but I suppose he was a bit mana starved. And in the first game, I think he took a bit too long trying to save up for his library. He had some counter magic in there, so he had the tools, I think, to stop Power-Monolith. But Power-Monolith is just so fast here, getting all his mana out. Yeah, he sideboarded well here, I think. The red blasts to because you can crush the power artifact as a fast effect or counter it, and as a blue blast to counter the fireball. Sushi is to counter the Abyss, and a Black Wise against control. A lot of cards he took in. It seems like Power-Monolith took in a balance against all the creatures, a couple of Serra Angels and Aladdin's Lamp. So pretty fun game, this one. It is a rare sight to see Power-Monolith in a tournament scene, and it's really great to see when it really clicks like this. Just looks awesome. It's getting a tutor each turn, and yeah, just infinite riches, infinite mana everywhere. Let's go over the decks real quick here. And this is the Quicksilver deck, and as mentioned, it is blue, green and red, with all the creatures that this combination entails. So we have the 4 Curd Apes, really good in this combination. A couple of Agodian Pixies. I think there's 2 Unumgens and a Sushi sandwich in between them. Hard to tell. And 4 Serendipity Freaks as well. Fully powered, or almost, with 3 Moxen, the uncolor Moxen, no Lotus, the 3 blue power cards, and he's even found room for counter magic in this brew with 3 counter spells and a mana drain, 4 lightning bolts, 4 chain lightnings, and a couple of sonic blasts, and a bunch of green cards there. It's a bit hard to see, but there's a Sylvan Library, and I think it's an Ice Storm, perhaps against Library of Alexandria, and the Regrowth, and the 4th card I can't make out. Sometimes, I suppose an argument could be made to put Stormseeker in there, but it could be a Hurricane as well, or something else entirely. And we have a couple of crumbles here, besides the Chaos Orb as extra removal. I'm a bit surprised that he doesn't use Shatters instead, because crumbles gives the other guy life, and I would imagine this brew tries to hit the other guy fast and hard, and just like blow him away immediately with a bunch of fast critters. curving out into mid-range creatures and just burning away, removing creatures and just bolting and sonic blasting the other guy's dice. So I don't think usually you want to give him life with Crumble, but I'm not an expert on the Quicksilver brew, so I've just imagined when you have access to red, why not Shatter? Apart from that, nothing is out of the ordinary here. I'm pretty impressed that he can have room for both the counter magic and all the burn here. It just gives him a control route as well, and an ability to counter the other guy's combination. So on paper, I mean, this is really a lethal tournament deck, the Quicksilver Brew. So on paper, I would have almost seen him as the favorite in this matchup. I mean, it's hit so fast, but didn't quite make it work. Let's look at the sideboard here. We got a bunch of red and blue blasts, and even more crumbles, and a Shatter Storm, likely against robots in the deck, and I suppose it could be used against this brew as well. And we have Fireball as a finisher, late game finisher, and perhaps against aggro as well, because you can Fireball several small critters away and then get in with your own creatures. And a couple of sushis. And then rounding it out with 3 black wises here as additional ways to just pressure the other guy's dice or life pool. So yeah, I suppose they're even better against control-ish archetype and also against this brew, so it did take black wise in here. So looks like a pretty damn fast and lethal pile of cardboard, this one. Perhaps it was this mana starvation in round number 2, and I mean, Power-Monolith just exploded here. Also in game number 1, it just ran away with it. Surprise win for me, at least. Now, I don't mean this as an implication that Power-Monolith is a weaker deck than Quicksilver, but I just didn't think that he was a favorite in this against such a quick brew. But made it work. Let's take a look at the Power-Monolith brew here. Now, this is Troll's Power-Monolith deck, and he's been playing that brew as long as I can remember. And it does surprise me here that he has 3 Swords of Plowshare as main deck. I seem to remember that he doesn't play with that much removal, as I said during the match, but he's putting them in there. So, usually I think he only has 1. And he has 3 counterspells and a mana drain, and a single Diabus. And what's part of Troll's usual game plan is to play with a main deck Red Blast here. I bet he reckons that he mostly has difficulties against blue mages and counterspells that can counter his combination. So he's just reckoned that he would prefer to have that Red Blast in their main deck against them, against the counter wars, even though it would be a dead draw against other matchups. But yeah, I suppose it was usable in this matchup as well, because there was a bunch of blue cards in the Quicksilver deck. And then he has a splash of green for the regrowth and a splash of red for the Wheel of Fortune. So it's mostly blue actually, and a little bit of white. A single Sylvan Library as well, and the blue power cards here. A single book, there's a moat as well, and then we have the combination with the 3 Basalt Monolith and 3 power artifacts, 4 disenchants and a couple of fireballs. So the colors are a bit dispersed here. It does seem like it's not so much splashes, it's like semi-colors all over the place, with 4 red cards and 7 white cards and stuff like that. So that's the Power-Monolith. Let's go over the sideboard here. We have the Ivory Towers, likely against burn decks, right? And the 4th counterspell against to win the counter wars. Another Red Blast and a Fork. That's rarely seen in the sideboard. Flash counter as well in the counter wars. And some Divine Offerings here. Just to put in against the artifact meta, obviously. I see a surprisingly low amount of Divine Offerings though, only a single one. And there's a one-off with a single sushi as well. The Balance, likely against aggro, stuff like that. Circle Protection Red, you likely put that in. And then we have the way for the transformation sideboard to work here with a couple of Serra Angels and a Shivan Dragon. And there's that Aladdin's Lamp, so spicy. So Power-Monolith wins this matchup. against a brutal opponent by just blowing him away with a 2-0 victory here, and he'll advance further into the tournament. Next up, we'll take a stroll back into the Composition A matchups. We have 2 matchups before the top 8, where it will be decided if Composition A makes it into the top 8 or not. Stay tuned for more, and thank you for watching.